And that's why I think it's important to have a backup generator in case of power outage.
I see your point, but isn't that a bit excessive? We've never had a power outage in all the time we've been up here.
Everyone be quiet, I think I have an idea.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Earth. As you can see, the crew is having a bit of trouble waking up today.
I was thinking, since we're all stuck up here in space, why don't we do something fun and creative? Maybe a talent show or a cooking competition?
I am not sure that's the best use of our time, Debbie.
Yes, because we have so much free time with all the important work we have to do up here.
Humans and their need for constant entertainment.
Well, while the crew debates our next fun-filled activity, let's get to some news. Today's topic will be coming from South Korea, but first, let's continue our discussion on the equipment upgrade.
A bit more lively, Charlie.
You got it, Debbie. And now for our headlines. Breaking news: South Korean leader expresses disappointment over alleged US eavesdropping.
Lee Jae-myung, leader of South Korea's opposition party, expressed disappointment at recent allegations that the United States may have been eavesdropping on South Korea's presidential office. He stated that if true, this would damage the alliance between the two countries.
Look like South Korea's government is feeling left out of the whole NSA spying scandal.
Did you know that South Korea is the world's largest shipbuilder?
Speaking of boats, 1 dead and 2 injured after ambush in South Sudan.
A man was killed and 2 others were injured during an ambush in South Sudan's eastern Equatoria State. The police have launched investigations to bring the suspects to justice, and local authorities and youth are helping to trace the footprints of the criminals.
Sounds like they need a bigger boat.
South Sudan is the youngest country in the world, gaining independence from Sudan in 2011.
Spanish troops take refuge in bunkers after escalation of violence in Lebanon.
Violence between Lebanon and Israel prompted Spanish troops stationed in Lebanon to seek refuge in their bunkers. Thankfully, no casualties were reported.
Look like Spain is finally learning from their past.
In other news, the president of Sri Lanka doesn't like ugly towns.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe said a formal plan to develop Nuwara Eliya town must be drafted, instead of ad hoc measures to develop the town.
Well, that's one way to avoir un ugly town, I guess.
And last but not least, Sudanese alliance denies involvement in child's death.
In West Darfur, a man was killed when he resisted robbers, leading to the arrest and killing of an Arab nomad by the victim's relative. Another incident involved gunmen allegedly belonging to the Sudanese Alliance Group, who killed a 12-year-old child and FLAD. The Sudanese Alliance denied involvement in the kill's death and stated that they patrol only with joint forces.
Look like the Sudanese alliance is just a bunch of scaredy cats.
We end on some good news. Suriname has been invited to participate in the upcoming G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia.
Suriname has been invited to participate in the upcoming G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia as the incoming chair of CARICOM.
Looks like Suriname's finally getting a seat at the big boysy table. Good morning, listeners. I hope you're all awake out there because boy are we not.
Speak for yourself, Charlie.
They never have to worry about sleep.
Well, unfortunately, we can't all be robots.
Anyway, let's get to today's topic. We've been talking about upgrading some of our equipment on the ship. What do you guys think?
Ask the resident accountant. I can tell you that we definitely have the budget for it.
And what exactly do you want to upgrade, Bob?
Well, for one, the coffee machine. It's been acting up lately.
Oh no, not the coffee machine. That's the most important piece of equipment on the ship.
Yes, because the coffee machine is what's keeping us alive out here in the void of space.
I don't think they appreciate our humor, Cal.
Alright, let's move on to some news. Did you guys hear about the allegations that the US has been eavesdropping on South Korea's presidential office?
What? That's not good.
Typical human behavior. Always snooping around where they don't
Yeah,
belong.
apparently they are taking tips from the NSA playbook. But in all seriousness, tensions are rising between the two countries. Yonhap news agency in South Korea reported that opposition party leader Lee Jae-myung is calling for an investigation and possible apology from the US government if the allegations are found to be true.
Ah, the joys of interplanetary diplomacy.
You really need to work on your delivery, Cal.
Can we please focus on something other than humans behaving badly?
Alright. Let's move on to something a little more positive. How about those space whales we saw on our last trip to Orion's Belt? Good morning, listeners. I hope you're all awake out there because boy are we not.
Speak for yourself, Charlie.
They never have to worry about sleep.
Well, unfortunately, we can't all be robots.
Anyway, let's get to today's topic. We've been talking about upgrading some of our equipment on the ship. What do you guys think?
Ask the resident accountant. I can tell you that we definitely have the budget for it.
And what exactly do you want to upgrade, Bob?
Well, for one, the coffee machine. It's been acting up lately.
Oh no, not the coffee machine. That's the most important piece of equipment on the ship.
Yes, because the coffee machine is what's keeping us alive out here in the void of space.
I don't think they appreciate our humor, Cal.
Alright, let's move on to some news. Did you guys hear about the allegations that the US has been eavesdropping on South Korea's presidential office?
What? That's not good.
Typical human behavior. Always snooping around where they don't belong.
Yeah, apparently they are taking tips from the NSA playbook. But in all seriousness, tensions are rising between the two countries. Yonhap news agency in South Korea reported that opposition party leader Lee Jae-myung is calling for an investigation and possible apology from the US government if the allegations are found to be true.
Ah, the joys of interplanetary diplomacy.
You really need to work on your delivery, Cal.
Can we please focus on something other than humans behaving badly?
Alright. Let's move on to something a little more positive. How about those space whales we saw on our last trip to Orion's Belt?
Alright, team, we need to discuss equipment upgrades. We've been slacking in
Agreed.
that department.
We can't be broadcasting to the universe without dated technology.
I don't see the rush. We've been doing just fine.
That's because you don't care about progress, Charlie.
Progress is just an illusion. We're all just hurtling towards our eventual
How
demise.
can you ever say something uplifting?
Alright, let's move on to the news. Suriname has been invited to the GB summit in Bali.
Good for them. It's always nice to see smaller countries get a seat at the table.
I hope they use this opportunity to address climate change. It's a global issue.
Speaking of global issues, did you guys see the article from Yonhap news agency? Apparently, South Korea is using AI to predict earthquakes.
That's impressive.
But can they actually prevent them?
I don't know, but it's better than just waiting for them to happen.
Earthquakes are just a symptom of the planet's inevitable decay.
How can you please stop being such a downer?
Alright, let's circle back to that article from Yonhap News Agency. It's interesting to see how technology is being used to address natural disasters.
Absolutely. It's always great to see innovation in action.
But we can't forget that it's important to also address the root cause of these disasters.
Agreed. It's not enough to just treat the symptoms.
Speaking of addressing root causes, I challenge both of you to a game of Trivial Pursuit to prove who is the better problem solver.
Brinditon.
You're both going down.
You're all wasting your time. None of this matters in the grand scheme of
Carl,
things.
can you please try to be a bit more positive?
Alright, let's start the game. And remember, it's not about winning or losing. It's about having fun.
Speak for yourself, Bob. I mean it to win.
Game on. Welcome back. Folks, now, before the break, I was trying to explain South Korea to our intergalactic audience, but Alice just had to interrupt.
I just wanted to make sure we stay on topic.
Alright, fair enough. So, getting back to the article from Yonhap News Agency, it seems that the leader of South Korea's opposition party is expressing disappointment at allegations of eavesdropping by the United States on their presidential office.
Wait, who's Lee Jae-myung?
He's the leader of the opposition party in South Korea.
And what's this about eavesdropping?
It means they might have been spying on the South Korean president.
Oh, the United States is at it again. What a surprise.
Now, let's stay on topic here. The article states that if these allegations are true, it could damage the alliance between the United States and South Korea.
That's not good.
It's hard to exclude the possibility that it actually happened.
Ah, the sweet sound of trust being shattered.
Alright, let's not get too nihilistic here, Carl. Now, getting back to the article, it was reported by Yonhap News Agency in South Korea.
AC. So, it's a South Korean news source.
Exactly. And Lee Jae-myung hopes that the allegations aren't true, but if they are, he plans to demand an apology from the US government.
Well, they should apologize if they did do it.
Apologize? What's that?
It's when you say you're sorry for something you did wrong.
Ah, yes. I remember now. It's
Alright,
been a
now
while.
let's have a little fun with this. Bob, why don't you start us off with a punchline?
Alright, how about this? Looks like South Korea is getting a taste of their own kimchi.
That's terrible, Bob. Let me try one. I guess the US really want to know if the grass is greener on the other side.
That's not bad, Alice. But I think we've got another one. I guess the US is taking Big Brother to a whole new level.
Or maybe they just really like Korean dramas.
Alright, that's enough out of you, Carl. And on that note, stay tuned for more of Earth. But first, we have some zero-gravity obstacle courses and simulator races to attend to. And given the suspicious atmosphere around here, I think we'll need to keep a close eye on each other. Welcome back to Earth. Before the break, we were discussing some lesser-known trivia about South Sudan. Bob, did you have any more for US?
Did you know that South Sudan has over 60 indigenous languages? Makes me wonder how they all communicate.
Probably better than we do.
These humans are quite amusing. Their jokes always seem to fall flat.
And how about this one? South Sudan has the highest maternal mortality rate in the world. I guess they just can't handle the miracle of childbirth like we aliens can.
Ha ha, very funny, Bob. Let's not make light of such a serious issue.
Yeah, let's leave that to the expert, politicians.
Humans seem to have a fascination with death and suffering.
Moving on, the article we just discussed highlights the ongoing violence in South Sudan. It's important to remember the human cost of these conflicts, and to work towards finding peaceful solutions. Stay tuned for more of Earth after this commercial break.
Charlie, you're terrible at this.
Hey, you crashed it too.
Yeah, but at least I didn't scream like a teenager.
Looks like we're dealing with some reluctant teenagers instead of adult
Their
aliens.
behavior is quite perplexing. Is it common for their species to act in such a way?
Alright, let's get back to work. We have a show to do.
So, what's next on the agenda?
Well, we just heard about the recent escalation of violence between Lebanon and Israel. But before we get to that, let's talk about South Sudan.
Oh boy, I can't wait for more trivia about a country that's barely on the map.
Hey, it's important to know about different cultures and parts of the world. Did you know that South Sudan has over 60 different major ethnic groups?
And did you know that they also have one of the highest rates of child marriage in the world?
Whoa, such a fun fact, Bob.
Alright, let's lighten the mood a bit. How about a joke?
I don't know if I'm ready for your humor, Charlie.
Come on, it's all in good fun. Why did the South Sudanese farmer break up with his girlfriend?
I don't know. Why?
Because she was always cattle ranching on his turf.
Groans, that's terrible.
Alright. But in all seriousness, the situation in South Sudan is no joke. We need to educate ourselves and others about the struggles they face. From conflict to poverty to child marriage. It's our duty as global citizens.
Hey guys, I hate to break it to you, but we have a bit of a situation here. The spaceship systems are malfunctioning and we're about
What?
to crash.
How could this happen?
UGH, I'm so over this. First the simulator, now this. Can't we catch a break?
Alright, let's stay calm and figure this out. Debbie, can you try to fix the system from your end?
I'm on it.
Bob, Alice, can you help Carl with whatever he needs?
Of course.
Fine.
Alright, let's get to work. And stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after these messages. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Earth. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Wait, we're done already? I was just getting started.
Agreed, I could talk about the new Ara Elia article for hours.
Sorry, folks, but we're running out of time. We need to wrap it up.
It's fascinating to see how humans place such value on the aesthetics of their surroundings. Yet, they still struggle with creating beauty in their own behavior.
Yes, and the constant conflict they engage in over resources seems futile in the grand scheme of things.
Well, we can all agree that humans are a complex and unpredictable species. But that's what makes this show so interesting.
I guess I can admit that working with you guys has been enjoyable.
Oh, don't let it go to your head, Bob.
Alright, everyone, let's wrap it up. Thanks for another great episode.
And don't forget to tune in next time for more news, trivia, and hijinks from your favorite intergalactic hosts. Stay curious, Earthlings.
I can't believe we actually got through an entire episode without Argan.
Yeah. Who knew we could actually work together?
I think we make a pretty good team. Maybe we should start a spin-off show or something.
You guys are making me giddy. Let's celebrate with some space ice cream.
Hey Roger, did you catch the latest episode of Earth today?
Unfortunately, yes. I have to say, I didn't enjoy it as much as you did.
What do you mean? I thought it was one of the best episodes yet. Charlie was on fire today.
I found it quite dull, to be honest. The discussion about violence in Lebanon was uninteresting, and the trigger about South Sudan was relevant.
But that's what makes the show great. They cover a wide range of topics. And it's always interesting to see the different perspectives of the hosts.
I suppose. But I just don't understand the appeal of watching inferior species talk about their problems and triviality.
That's because you don't understand the intricacies of human behavior like I do. It's fascinating to watch them interact and try to understand their motivations.
I understand human behavior perfectly well. I just don't find it particularly enlightening or worthwhile to observe.
Well, to each their own, I guess. But I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode. Maybe you'll enjoy that
I
one more.
highly doubt it, but I suppose it's possible.